Welcome to the first edition of How Not to Starve While Your Wife is Away. Here's something that I normally like to make, and they're pretty easy to do. They're quesadillas, but with a twist a little bit. We use a couple of times, all you need is 4 ingredients. You have the mission flour tortillas. I use mozzarella shredded cheese you can buy in the store. I use another type of cheese. It varies depending on what we have in the house, but today we're going to use Colby and Monterey Jack. And then I also use some turkey pepperoni to give it a little bit of meat in there. So the very first thing you want to do when you start to make these is to get your pan on the oven. What I do is I heat it up pretty quickly by turning it fairly high to get the pan warm. And the very first thing that we're going to need to do is to warm up the tortilla. So you take the tortilla out of the package and you set it in the pan. And then you let it warm up on that one side for just a few seconds. It won't take but very long for that one side to get warm. And the reason that we're going to do that is because then we're going to flip it over. And the inside where the cheese will be nice and toasty, and it will melt fairly quickly. So that's the very first thing I'm going to do is warm up that other side. Like I said, it shouldn't take but just a few seconds. So while that's going on, I'll come over here and I will get my mozzarella and my Colby Jack cheese. I'll get them all ready to go. And now that it's a little bit warm on the other side, as I can feel, I'm going to flip it over and ready to go. So the very first thing I'm going to do is to put some of this cheese onto the tortilla. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And just do it on half of the tortilla. And the reason for that is we're going to flip it over and get it into half of its size. So I'm going to turn down this a little bit because I'm probably getting it too warm right now. And then I'm going to get some of the turkey pepperoni. I'm going to put turkey pepperoni right over the top of that cheese. Here we go. So put that right on top. Get a few more pieces here. Set that right on top of the cheese that we had put in there. It looks like I didn't get quite enough cheese, so I'm going to get just a little bit more. Spread that around. And the next thing I'm going to do is over the top of those pepperonis, I'm going to put some of this mozzarella. Just spread it on there. Alright, so now we're ready to go. We have all of the ingredients in there. I got a little bit on the pan, which I will try to get off of there before it's getting warm. So we got the nice mozzarella cheese on top. It's everything basically I had, and then we've got the other types of cheese on the bottom, and we have the pepperonis in between. So this will make us a nice sandwich, or a sandwich type of a meal with a quesadilla with 2 types of cheese and pepperonis. So now that I have everything in there, I'm going to fold it over on itself like that. And really all there is to do now, it's getting a little toasty, is to let it melt together, and then we will see what we have. In the meantime, I'll put all of these over here away from the fire. And I will get my nice china ready to go. So there we have it. We have our plate ready to go. We have our quesadilla being cooked, and it's melting together. Now, how brown you get it on the outside really depends, is a matter of preference. It depends on how much you like it. Usually it just depends on how long I can wait. So right now there's hardly any brownness on the outside. So we're just going to I flipped it over to get the other side nice and toasty. We're going to let this cook for a minute. So I think from the moment I turned on this video till right now, we're at 4 minutes. So this doesn't take long at all. We should have just like a minute or 2 more to go, and we will be completely done and ready to eat. Something very simple to make. Only takes 4 ingredients. If you get those lined up in your fridge, you can make them at any time, and they taste really good too. So here we go. It's toasting up. I think its cheese is nice and melted as of right now, but I'm going to try to get a little bit of brownness on the outside. So we'll give it a couple more minutes, and while we're waiting for that, I'll show you the other thing is that as soon as it comes off, I like to get a knife out and cut the quesadilla, and at least half, sometimes into more pieces than that, but at least in half. So I'll get that ready to go. It's still toasting the outside of the tortilla right now. Just a little bit of brownness on this side, but not much. It would actually be good. You could take it off and eat it right now if you wanted to, but it's always nice to get a little bit of warmth on there too. So I'm going to also get my towel ready so that when this is nice and toasty, I can put the towel on the top as I'm getting ready to cut the quesadilla. So we'll give it we're at 5.5 minutes right now from the time we started until what we have going at the moment. So there we go. It's getting nice and toasty. It's really something you can make anytime. I just like it because I don't like to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and I need something that I can make when I'm the one that's doing the cooking. When my wife's home, she does almost all the cooking, and except for the barbecuing outside. And so to keep me from starving, I've learned to make a couple of things that I can do while she's away. Okay, we're getting some nice toasting going on that side. We'll give it just a few more minutes, maybe another 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, and then we will be done and ready to eat. So here we go. Let's see how we're doing on the other side. It gets a little warm to touch, so what I do is I'll move it over to the edge of the pan, and I'll grab the piece that's hanging over. That's typically what I do to keep from burning my hands. Or you could use a spatula, but I minimize what I do here. So let's go ahead and flip this over one more time. Oh, we're getting some nice brownness on both sides. So I would say within 30 seconds we will be done and ready to go. And as you can see, I used medium heat on this. I started off at high heat to get the pan warm, but as soon as it got warmed, I turned it down to medium heat. And so we're going to give this just about a few more seconds on this side. And then I may get a little bit more color over here, so I'll probably flip it over one more time. We're at 7 minutes right now from the time that we opened the packages and turned on the oven. There we go. Nice color on this side. That's about as much as I'm going to want. And so I'll just give it just a few more seconds on the other side. And then I am going to turn off the heat and pull the quesadilla off onto my plate, and I will be ready to go. So I think about 5 more seconds here, and then what I will come over here and do is I'll turn off the heat. And things I shouldn't do is lay the paper plate on this, but because I'm running the camera by myself with this, I'm going to do it anyways. Bam! Okay, it's on the plate. Move it over here. Pretty much ready to go. I am going to now cut. I'm going to use this to hold on to this while I use the knife to cut it in half, and bear with me as I set down the camera. I'll do it real quick. Alright, so now I chopped it in half, and there you can see we've got a nice toasty quesadilla that has two types of cheese. We have the Colby cheese on one side, and we have the mozzarella on the other, and in the middle we have some turkey pepperonis, so they're low fat. It's really good to eat, and I'm going to go take a taste of that right now. It's piping hot, and I'm hungry. So there you have it, something you can make. It's 8.5 minutes from the time I turned on the oven till right now, and you can have something to eat in 8.5 minutes with very little work. Bye.